Experience can take a leader far, but it can also make a leader comfortable. And serious and effective leaders know this. If the mindset doesn't shift, growth eventually stalls. Tonight, we're talking about why serious leaders don't wait to grow. This is a 30. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to the 30. Thank you for joining us. This is the space for meaningful conversation designed to support personal, professional, and leadership growth. The 30, of course, is a production of the Jackman Group, LLC, a learning and development firm focused on developing leaders, helping teams to be more effective and productive, and of course, organizational engagement. Thank you for being here once again on this episode. If you find the episode valuable, do me a huge favor. Give it a like. You can also drop me a comment and repost this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. That's at the 30 with Patrick. You can go ahead and do that. Thank you once again for being here. Tonight, I'm continuing to focus on talking about things I often see in leaders and honestly, things that I hear around leadership as well. See, a leader can be experienced, accomplished, respected, and still become stuck. Not because they've lost their ability, not because they have lost intelligence, and not because they haven't shifted. The main part of this is their mindset. Their mindset need to shift from where they were to what's next. And serious leaders don't wait too long to deal with that. So tonight's episode, our topic is why serious leaders don't wait to shift their mindset. That is what we are going to be tackling. That's what we will discuss on this episode of the 30. One of the realities of leadership is this. What helped you reach one level may not be enough to help you lead at the next level. And that's what the first part of what we are going to be focusing in on this topic. See, an interesting thing that I found about leadership is that experience can become both an asset, but it can also be a trap or a liability. See, experience is extremely valuable as we navigate the various paths of leadership. It can give us perspective. It gives us the view to see and recognize patterns. It also gives us a degree of confidence. However, if we're not careful, your experience can also quietly start to say a number of things. It already know this. We can say things like, I've already done that. I've already been leading for too long to really need this level of development. I'm more tenured. I have 20, 30 years of leadership experience. I don't need development, but my team does. And you've heard me said that in a previous episode. And I just wanted to tee that up once again, because as a leader, sometimes we tend to say these things out quiet to, either to ourselves or we say it in the presence of others. And I don't know you. I don't know your degree of leadership. I don't know the level of leadership or leaders that's out there. I don't know. But I can be transparent if you allow me to. Full transparency. I have quietly said some of these things, that I don't need development. My team needs it, but I don't. So I've said some of those things. And if you are honest with yourself, you've probably said some of those things quietly, or you said it out to someone else. Because I have said it quietly, but I've also had firsthand knowledge of leaders who either said it quietly, said it to me, or while I was in the room when they discussed it or said it to others. Folks, either way, that's where strong leaders start to plateau, because we use these excuses. By saying these things quietly or out loud or to others, we begin as leaders, we begin to see a number of things. See, when we say these things out, it shows up in our actions. It stops our challenge, right? We don't want to seek any more challenges. We are good. We're all set. I don't need anything else. I've reached that point that I am the expert. That's a trap. That's a leadership trap. And then we stop inviting feedback. Say, leaders who see these things, who do these things, they stop putting themselves in growth environments. They also stop learning with the same urgency that they once had. And then they've reached a point of plateau. That's usually the moment when we start saying these things, when we start doing these things. That is usually the moment when growth starts slowing down. We've reached the point of what we call the plateau. One of the challenges today that I've seen and realized in leaders is that leadership is not getting easy. It's not getting easier. It's getting more challenging. It's getting more demanding. I had an interview earlier this week. Erica Bates she has a show, online broadcast called Talk Virtual. And she interviewed me around this concept of leadership and plateauing and growing and developing. And she had some very profound questions from me. Some that even I took a step back and said, whoa, that's an interesting and that's a very powerful question. And one of the questions that she asked, which was very profound, was, why does leadership feel harder for so many leaders right now? And she went further, even the experienced leaders. I found that as a very powerful question. I found it to be an excellent one. And I told her that. See, part of the answers that I gave her was the environment has changed. The pressure to perform has changed. The expectations of the leaders have changed. The complexity has changed. Technology has changed, right? So leaders are no longer managing tasks. Leaders now, the new face of leadership, and I found this to be happening in all market segments of leaders, for-profit, non-for-profit, government, all entities, all segments. See, what happens is that we're no longer managing the task, right? We were good at managing tasks, but now we are navigating people. We're navigating emotions. We're navigating culture. We're having to deal with dialogue and communication. We're managing peace and uncertainty. And of course, we're managing performance. And sometimes we're doing all these things at once. And that means experience alone is no longer enough, folks. So experience can tell you what you worked before, but leadership, growth helps you to respond to what's happening now. I'll say that again. Experience can bring you to what you did previously, but leadership growth helps you respond to what's happening now. And I hope that you understand that. That's why some leaders feel stuck, because they're focused on the past. They're relying on their own experience. See, they're trying to lead in this new season with an old mindset. And actually, the same mindset that once felt effective, in actuality, becomes the ceiling. So we have to put a new mindset on. We have to understand that things have changed. We can't do the things that we used to do. We can't lead the way that we used to lead. We can't lead with power and authority. We have to embrace a new mindset. Why serious leaders don't wait to shift their mindset. And you can check out that interview that I did with Erica. That's going to be released soon. I invite you to stay tuned. I will post it on our channels. Erica asked me some deep questions, and I had to pull out some of my experience in the past, but also focus on what's taking place now. So stay tuned for that. With that said, the question here isn't whether leaders need growth. The question is whether you as a leader, we as leaders, should wait too long to pursue it. Whether we should do it now or wait down the road. My thing is, why wait? Let's do it now. See, serious and effective leaders, in my study, do things a little bit different. One of the things that they do that makes them so effective and serious and productive as leaders is that they don't wait until performance drops. Also, they don't wait until frustration comes around. They don't wait until their team that they're leading is disengaged. And they certainly don't wait until they feel completely stuck. They shift early. They understand that in order to get to the next level, in order to go to the next level, that they need to shift early. They understand their mindset is not a one-time event. They understand that instead of it being a one-time event, they understand that it has to keep evolving. Our mind has to keep evolving. We can't stay with what was. We have to focus on what's coming. They also understand that they need to be teachable. They need to stay teachable. They have to be open to learning. They also have to stay willing to be challenged and stay committed to in their intentional development. Folks, it's all about growth and development. This matters because these types of leaders, these serious, these exceptional, these effective leaders, know that without a shadow of a doubt, they understand that they cannot reach the goal of going to the next level with maintaining the same mindset. They also understand that whatever goal they've set, whether it's a goal to be a strong and more effective leader, whether it's to build and develop a healthier and a stronger and more effective and productive team, or whether it's to make a more sustainable impact on others, they understand that whatever it is, that intentional development matters. And it doesn't matter down the road, it matters right now. They get it. They understand. They move forward effectively. They move forward with the now as opposed to waiting. So they get it. These leaders get it. And that's what we do here at the Jackman Group and through our MPACT leaders. Because this is one issue that we deeply care about, is understanding and helping leaders go from where they are to where they desire to be. Going from a good leader to a great leader to an exceptional and serious leader. That's what we do. Because serious leaders don't wait until they're in trouble to grow. They make room for development before the plateau turns into decline. They understand it. And that's what we do. That is behind our MPACT leaders. That is behind what we're doing starting April 14th, our MPACT Leaders Spring 2026 Leadership Development Experience. And that begins, as I said, April 14th. That's an in-person training or an experience. And that runs through, that's 5 weeks. We meet 1 day per week for 5 weeks. It is designed for leaders who understand that growth is not automatic. Mindset shifts are not accidental. And leadership at the next level certainly requires intentional development. So if you know you need more than experience, if you know that content and motivation and quick wins are not enough, if you know it's time to grow with structure and purpose, this development opportunity was created with you in mind. I invite you now, in the description of this episode, there's a link for you to click. I invite you to click on that link to learn more about our Spring 2026 Leadership Development Experience. Not only click on it to learn, but click on the link to register, to sign up, and be intentional with your decision. See, it's all about you investing in yourself. It's all about you taking the next step. Because development is not accidental. It's planned strategy. When you attend this experience, I will guarantee that it will help you to shift your mindset of becoming a more serious an effective leader. It will shift your mindset from, well, I have it all, I know it all, I don't need anything else. It will shift your mindset from that to say, wow, I thought I knew it all, but this has opened up my mind for growth and development. It will take you from where you are and take you to the goal that you desire to be. I guarantee that, for 5 weeks, 1 day a week. So if that's you, if you're serious about moving to the next level, I ask you to join us. Well, we are coming to the end of this episode. And as we prepare to wrap up, here is your list of reflection questions for this particular episode. You know, we always give you some things to reflect on, right? Because we can't leave without having you think about you, where you are in your leadership journey, where you are in your skill set as a leader. So first one, where do you see leaders getting stuck right now? That's the first reflection question. And you can take the time, you can go back and listen to this in replay and check the reflection questions. The first one, where do you see leaders getting stuck right now? Number two, what mindset has helped you get this far? What mindset has helped you get this far, but may not be enough to take you to the next? So what mindset got you now, right here, but may not be enough to take you to the next level? And lastly, what if you're honest? If you're honest with yourself, where in your leadership journey do you need to shift before growth stalls? So those are the three questions. If you missed them, go back and look at this episode in replay and ask yourself those three questions. While you're asking them, come up with your answers. If you'd like to drop me a line, if you'd like to send us an email, you can send that to info@jackmangroupllc.com. That is info@jackmangroupllc.com. So that is it for now as we close. Because serious leaders don't wait too long to grow. They recognize the need. They make the shift. They make the move intentionally. So in closing, I'll leave you with this. Experience matters, but experience without continued development can become a ceiling. Serious leaders understand that. They get it. They don't wait. They move right away. Folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this episode. Thank you for being part of the 30. As we leave you, may God bless you and your family. We will see you on the next episode of the 30. Bye for now.